It's time. Let's go. Finally. Who's doing the soundtrack? Because it's definitely not Mick Gordon.
Hello, and welcome to Dallas, Texas, home of id Software.
These two.
Where more than 30 years
They've been
ago,
at
a
all of
small
the
team
almost all of the
developers helped
reveal events for
define
Doom.
and set a course for first-person shooters. A lot has changed since then, but our team is as passionate as ever. And the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused
Game director.
in every aspect of this latest installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on its tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom: The Dark Ages.
That was so stupid, I mouthed the words.
He mouthed the words. All right, let's go. Let's get some good gameplay going. Yes. Show it all. Ooh. Oh man, I'm excited. We are playing the first two before this one releases for sure.
Super weapon in the center of a medieval war against hell. Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer. This is a prequel to Doom 2016, and that's given us the opportunity to reimagine every aspect of this experience.
That makes more sense.
So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom: The Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series.
Okay.
And if you're a longtime fan, then you'll be proud to see, in a lot of ways, the feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it down, starting with the combat.
All right, what are we doing this time?
In Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal.
Okay.
And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim viable again, just like in the classic Doom games. But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom: The Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the shield saw. Block.
Hell yeah.
Throw. Parry. Deflect. All from one input. It's contextual. Tons of depth on a single button press.
Ooh.
You know, we want every Doom game to stand
Man,
on
he
its
looks
own
so
as a
cool,
unique
right?
experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot. And in Doom: The Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight.
Nice. Stand and fight.
And the shield saw will give you the strength to go head to head with some of the biggest, baddest demons we've ever created it in. But that's not all. Because if you're gonna stand and fight, then you gotta have something to follow up that opening parry with. How about an iron flail?
Oh my god, a flail, that's awesome.
Electrified gauntlet.
Ooh.
Or even a Doom spiked mace. That's right, we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee
Hell
system.
yeah.
All on one input, complete with combos and upgrades. And it's totally awesome. And you can finish off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system. From any angle, in and out, as you see fit. And it feels amazing.
Okay.
You'll feel unstoppable, smashing your way through the
So
board
it's
with
your
total
own
freedom.
glory animations. Like there's different
And that
animations.
seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet. The trigger.
What?
That's right, we've saved the best for last.
Oh my
Doom has
god.
and always will be all about
How
the guns.
freaking
And Dark
massive
Ages
that gun
has
is.
Some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created.
Hell yeah. Wow, they just went all crazy with it.
Ancient.
Hey, there it is, the double
Torture
barrel.
machines built to butcher, impale, and
Ah,
shred the
that looks
minions of
awesome.
hell with.
That's the new plasma gun. Oh,
Only in Doom. That's the mission statement for the design of these never-before-seen, insanely fun-to-use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended gameplay footage and see how these medieval mechanics synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom: The Dark Ages.
okay. Please don't make it enemy to weapon specific again. Okay, okay.
And under the hood, for the first time in an id game, we've made our combat more approachable and flexible than ever before, with a new difficulty system and sliders that will allow players to tune the speed and
Okay.
challenge of the game to whatever
Modifiers.
fits them best. You can
Whoa.
slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer. We finally have for you, you've been waiting for 2 games now, to get in and pilot your very own 30-story which is
yeah.
immense. It's the size of a building, it's powerful, and you can beat giant titan-sized demons to
Fucking
death
hell,
with your
man.
opening
Let's
fists.
go.
And if that wasn't enough, we also
Oh.
have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are
Yes.
one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The Power Fantasy
That is
unlike
sick.
anything we've made it.
Kaiju battle,
The
let's go.
combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages. Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom universe. Mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past, dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way. Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut, leap, and smash your way through environments full of secrets and treasures. There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed. Now let's take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction.
Okay.
Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls.
Hell yeah. That looks cool.
Seeking out
I like that.
targets and enemy formations along the
Is this
way
like open world?
to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose. Explore what is the largest play space ever in a Doom game.
Oh yeah.
Discovering secret caves and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources.
Oh my god.
control
It's
the pace
open
of the game.
world. Why?
Where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches. Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates, because the battle isn't over yet. And the soundtrack to your epic adventures will be composed by the award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars,
Finishing
medieval
Move, so
vibes,
definitely
and
not Mick
pure
Gordon, but
adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding
crazy,
the
man.
legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete.
We lost McGordon because of their
speaking of that
incompetence
The
to not
story
pay the
of
man.
Doom: The Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line, and you are the star of the show.
I mean, not that
Your
this doesn't
power
slap,
is
though.
coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer imprisoned at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and
man.
the perfect entry point for new players. It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains.
Wow.
And for returning
Oh my
players,
God, so
it
we're
leads
gonna actually have
directly into
characters.
the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's
Hell
legend.
yeah. Are we gonna see how he gets encased, like
We've got 10
found in
years
rock?
of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it
What's
was
with these
to
two
make.
people behind them?
And make
I'd be like,
something
can you not
that's
trail
good
me?
enough to become the best game id
What?
has ever made.
Why are you all
That
behind me?
is for you to
Is it
decide.
lunchtime?
When Doom: The
Oh.
Dark Ages releases,
What? May 15th? Yes, dude. May 15th. That is the day before school ends. We are going to be playing that. We're going to be here. We're going to be playing it. So exciting. That gives me months to get onto the other Doom games. Let's go. So this looks great, right? They showed off a ton of the game. Microsoft is confident in this big exclusive, quote unquote, because it's coming out on PS5. Anyways, I'm excited. It's coming out what, in May 15th? And they showed a lot of the weapons look sick. A lot of the weapons look really good. They really changed it up though. Like, most of these weapons aren't even recognizable to like some of their classic weapons, but then some of them are, you know. So, okay, it's more like a half and half situation. Oh, that's another thing. They made it semi-open world. Now I have to fucking explore and find caves and shit and find like bosses around the areas. It's cool, but it's not what I was looking for. I really like the mission structure that they've had. I think that just works better for Doom, right? The episodic structure that they've always had since the beginning. Don't give me an open world. It might not be a straight open world. It might just be like, you know, large areas that you can explore for a bit or go to the next objective. Maybe. If so, that's cool. That's not too bad. I still remember our nightmare playthrough of Doom 2016. And by nightmare, I mean nightmare difficulty. But it also was a nightmare. Holy crap. Never doing it again. But we will play through the game again on normal. I don't like that the shield is always out, right? Can we like hide that under the UI? You know, I don't need to see it every time. You know, I maybe like, oh, maybe I can put it on my back, you know? I don't want it always on my screen. I want that situation where I can have the gun just on the screen to make it feel a little more like regular Doom and not Doom with the shield all the time. Not that the Doom with the shield doesn't look great. I'm gonna love it, but I like the option, right? So you got the skull gun, you got the rail gun. That's cool. I like that. Like it's like a shoots pins, right? That's the new plasma gun. Man, the guns are beefy in this. Look how big they are. Look how much of the screen they take up. My God, I was looking at that. It looks like a Super XL plasma gun. I hope that this game comes with that ability to move the weapons lower. Like in a lot of modern shooters, they've been adding that. So they changed up the combat loop. I'm happy about that because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just like the way it was in 2016, right? It was more of a normal shooter. Whereas in Doom Eternal, they made it so that most weapons had a correlating enemy. So if you were coming up against the big giant floating eyeball, you're supposed to shoot it with a grenade launcher, I think, in the eye, and then do the glory kill. And so most of the enemies had a specific weapon, and the other ones wouldn't do as much to them. So I was more a fan of the 2016 way, but I still love Doom Eternal. It was great. We raged the hell out on those last 2 DLCs though, so we need, when we play it again, it should be interesting. More approachable and flexible. Oh, this is nuts. So they gave you game-changing options. Damage to demons, damage to player, enemy projectile speed, enemy aggression. You're literally changing. They gave you the option to change the balance of the game. You can make any difficulty you want. You want the enemies to stop chasing you, like in the middle of the fight, right? If there's so many enemies and they're all shooting like fireballs at you or something, that's a thing that happens in Doom Eternal a lot in the later, especially in the later game. The ability to come in here and enemy projectile speed, lower it. Holy crap. I don't think I've ever seen that in another game for difficulty option. You know, every game has like multiple difficulties. They don't really have change the enemy speed and aggression. That's cool. And really useful for people who just can't handle the constant like craziness that Doom brings, especially towards the end of the game. You know, even Doom 2016 with its normal combat system compared to Eternal still got freaking wild in the last few levels. The last 3 or 4 levels were like nuts. So this is awesome. Look at that gun. Look at that gun. Jesus. Look how big it is. That's like a double plasma gun. That is a double plasma gun. Wow.
You can slow things down.
It's also massive though.
It's a Doom for Oslo.
To be clear, I'm not complaining. It just shocks me a little bit. This is freaking sick. You get to be in the mech and do kaiju battles. Very cool. That's a first. And then you got the flying on the dragon. Oh my god. This game is gonna be fucking sick. So, okay, so you'll be able to go around and do different things. You'll be able to go around and find stuff. So I imagine this will also play into those large areas that we are exploring. I imagine you'll be able to summon the dragon and maybe fly around. If that's the case, that's pretty cool and will hold me over on this whole giant area, open world, quote unquote, not areas. So I think that'll be fun.
There's always something new waiting to be discovered.
Hey, they brought that animation back.
Now let's take a
That's from the first
look
2016.
at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom the Dark
Okay,
Ages.
missions. He says
In
missions.
this
Very
level,
cool.
You will meet the enemy
Okay.
at the gates and save a city.
So I think
from
they're just
certain
larger
destruction.
areas.
Explore the
I feel
medieval
better about that.
battlefield outside the castle walls.
Because I don't want a
Seeking
Doom
out
open
targets
world
and
game. I don't
enemy
need that.
formations along the way. To
Doom is
engage with as you
mission
see fit,
action.
with any gun you choose.
And they're just expanding on that a bit here. So
It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters.
you see that?
allies,
Hell yes. So that what he said there, I'm so glad that they did that. So God, this guy looks like the poster child for late 2000s buff hero main characters on the 360. Guy looks like a Gears of War character if I ever saw one. Jesus, just totally distracted me looking at him. Like, damn, where'd you come out of? Turok 2009. Anyways, so they took the story out of the codex, which is awesome, because the codexes give you a lot of story in the first 2016 game, and then sometimes you see little glimpses of these remnant memories from like the cameras. So no real big cutscenes. Doom Eternal had some big cutscenes. Some characters say stuff, but they weren't really characters. They were like gods or priests, and you know. So you don't really have much going on. You do see the Marines sometimes, and you see the doctors every once in a while. but never. I think like by the second half of the game, you're kind of like done with that. It's Space Kratos. It is, dude. Look at him. He just reminds me of like every like a mix of every main dude protagonist from 2006 to 2011. All right. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy that they're expanding on the story with actual characters, right?
Powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the
Look at his eyes.
2016 Slayer's Testaments.
He's got
It's
Batman
an action
eyes.
story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years.
Oh, this
of
is
making
funny.
Modern
Generic burly angry protag white dude number 4921. Ha! Yeah. I remember people complaining about that for so many games once they got tired of it. Like I remember Turok came out and everybody was like, this guy looks like he came right out of a Call of Duty game or a Gears of War scenario, and I was like, damn, you're right. And that was way back then in like 2010, 2011. So to see a character like that now, it's kind of cool. I'm not hating it. I just think it's funny.
Doom games together. And we've done better with every game.
This was funny. They just start following him, and I'm like, why are you all like, can you like back up a little? Like, you know, give me a little room. I'm talking here.
And make something that's good enough to become the
And then like
best game
6 more
it
people
has
show up,
ever made.
and I'm like, what is going on here?
Is for you to decide.
And it's planned.
Doom: The Dark Ages releases.
Cool reveal. I thought they said this day, and I was like, what? No. May 15th. Look at that statue. Chat, one of these days, I'm going to live a life where I can afford statues. It looks amazing. Looks cool. Look at that cover art, though. Ooh, I'm sure this is a wallpaper. So this is a play on the one they've done for Doom 1 and Doom Eternal. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Campaign. No mention of multiplayer, though. Is there no multiplayer in this game? Oh, that's so disappointing. If there's no multiplayer, I mean, it seems like they gave up, and I get it, right? All your resources into the campaign. Campaign DLC? Whoa. Divinity skin pack. Oh. Okay, so there's campaign DLC. But no multi, not even like a team deathmatch. Like even the classic Dooms had team deathmatch. I was really hoping they would give that multiplayer a second attempt, because they did it in 2016, but it didn't go over so well. But I thought it was great. They even incorporated the demons. It was cool. But then in Doom Eternal, they did the Horde multiplayer mode, like 2 versus 1, 2 demons, 1 Doomslayer or something like that, or 3 versus 1. It was all right. That's not what I wanted. I wanted them to do another attempt at the multiplayer. But it seems like they have decided not to do it at all this time, or they are saving it for future, but I doubt it. The game's coming out in May. They would have shown it today. Sag. No Doom multiplayer. Especially with how good like Space Marine is doing. Space Marine having the multiplayer. Even if they couldn't do a lot of maps, like 4 or 5 maps would have been great. Just to start off, you know? That's okay though. When you do multiplayer, you have to devote a lot of resources to it. A lot of skins, a lot of events to keep it going. So I get it. I get it. Just make sure you have a good campaign instead of devoting half of your people's time to the campaign. So it's better to get a good campaign out than a decent multiplayer and a decent campaign, right? All right. That's it. We did it.